Hey everyone, it's Anthony with Policy Buff, and I'm back with another How I Got the Shot video. In this episode, we're going to spill the tea on hard light versus soft light, and hopefully get you guys thinking outside the softbox. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell notification too if you want to be notified when we shed some light on different lighting techniques, or if you're just really into my bad puns like me. All right, let's get started. So we decided to take on this topic after posting a behind-the-scenes image on our Instagram of a photographer using hard light during a fashion shoot. There was a lot of criticism in the comments saying that the photographer was technically wrong and using unmodified light. The photographer was using a 7-inch reflector, and a reflector is a lighting modifier. So just because a photographer isn't using diffuse light doesn't make them technically wrong, and not all modifiers are used to diffuse light. There are a lot of successful photographers that use hard light, particularly in fashion photography. So it got us thinking that maybe some folks aren't familiar with using different lighting techniques or are just really comfortable using diffuse light. There are so many great modifiers out there that provide different results and open up a ton of creative possibilities. As a matter of fact, we offer a range of reflectors, softboxes, umbrellas, octaboxes, snoots. All of them can be found on our website here under, you guessed it, light modifiers. But I digress. Let's get to the point and talk about hard light versus soft light. It really comes down to the difference in the shadows that are being created by your light source. You've probably heard it 1,000 times, but it's totally true. The larger your light source, the softer your light. Hard light comes from a light source that is small relative to the subject, whereas soft light comes from a light source that is larger in relation to the subject. With hard light, the shadows are much more prominent and the transition from light to dark is much more abrupt. With soft light, the transition of the shadows from light to dark is less noticeable and there may be less contrast overall. On a sunny day, not a cloud in the sky, if you look at your shadows on the ground, they're really harsh and really defined. But on an overcast day, your shadows are a lot less noticeable if they're even there at all. So in photography terms, think of the sun as a bare bulb flash or a flash with something like a reflector on it. On an overcast day, think of the clouds as being something like a softbox or an octabox. So for this shoot, I wanted to create two looks, one that I thought was more appropriate for soft light and one that I thought was more appropriate for hard light. In the first look, I'm going to start off with the soft light with the 35-inch octabox, and in the second look, I'm going to use the 7-inch reflector, just like that photographer we shared on Instagram. And in those same setups, I'm going to compare both modifiers in each look. So the first look is going to be more centered around using soft light. I styled Amber in a white dress to contrast her red hair. I worked with my hair and makeup artist Zach to give Amber an elegant look that wasn't too fussy and too red carpet ready, but still really nice. I thought that a gray backdrop would really complement this look well. Based on Amber's styling, I knew I wanted to use soft light because I wanted something that was sleek and refined and kind of had an old Hollywood vibe. I used a single Link 800 and modified it with our 35-inch foldable octabox. I chose the octabox because it gave an even wrap of light and it created some natural looking catch lights in Amber's eyes. I placed my light camera right, up and angled down slightly about 45 degrees. Once we captured some images using the octabox, I took it off and threw on the 7-inch reflector so that I could show you guys some comparisons between the modifiers. So take a look at some shots using both soft light and hard light, and then I'll share a comparison of both. Now for this second look, I thought that hard light would be more appropriate. I styled Amber in a more rocker chic look to contrast what we had done that was a bit more elegant in that first look. So for the lighting, I used the same Link 800 and started with a 7-inch reflector. I played with the direction of the light so that I could manipulate the shadows and incorporate them into my composition. So after we grabbed some cool shots, I did just like we had done in the previous setup and switched out my modifiers. I took off that 7-inch reflector, tossed on the foldable octabox, and wanted to shoot some more additional images to give you guys a comparison. So let's take a look at those now. So I kind of surprised myself. I really thought that the hard light on that first look was not going to be ideal, but I ended up liking a lot of those images from that first set in both soft light and hard light. And the same thing kind of happened with the second look. I thought hard light was going to be my go-to, and then throwing that octabox on there, I was really digging a lot of those softer images. So as you can see, neither hard light or soft light are technically wrong. It really just depends on the mood that you want to create or the concept that you have in mind. Hope you found this video helpful, and also kind of hope that we challenged you guys to give hard light a chance and maybe use it in an instance where you wouldn't really think it would work. If you do that, and just in general, give us a follow on Instagram at PolicyBuffInc and use the hashtag PolicyBuff for a chance to be featured on our page. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.